After the explosion, police and paramedics arrive swiftly on the scene to assist the injured, including an unconscious Stewart and Ronnie. In the US, President Rayburn and Billy learn about the explosion in central London. 3 Americans were hit, as well as a British MP. Kate and British Foreign Secretary Austen are at the British Embassy in Paris. Austen is on a video call with members of the cabinet who inform him that whoever planted the device left the area with the evacuees. He sends Kate a note about the death of MP Merritt Grove. The man, Hal, was scheduled to meet before the explosion. Austen wants Kate to keep their discussions from the bridge a secret, because if members of his government are involved, it could be anyone. Kate says it's not today's problem. He says that Grove could have been the one trying to get to Lenkov. Kate and Austen land in London. She learns that Stewart lost a lot of blood and Ronnie sustained a serious blow to the head. Kate tells Edra that Lenkov put together the attack on the carrier, but the Kremlin didn't hire him. She thinks the British Prime Minister did. Edra doesn't think the British Prime Minister would order a strike on his own warship, which may be connected to the bomb that just went off in his own city. Kate insists, saying that the call is coming from inside the house, and 3 Americans, including her husband, just got blown up inside the house. Edra proceeds to lock down the hospital. Austen learns that no one has claimed credit for the bombing yet. Austen tells his advisor Tom that French intelligence thinks the Brits are going to kill Lenkov, and Tom denies it. Austen reminds Tom that Lenkov can tell them who hired him, so they need him alive. Kate learns that Hal isn't out of the woods yet. The doctor then heads back to the operating room as Hal suffers from a second bleed. Edra asks Kate to provide more context about what she said earlier, but Kate doesn't think the room is secure, so she writes on a patient whiteboard to explain that the French intelligence think the British will kill Lenkov. Edra says the Brits don't do that, they ask the Americans to do it. Kate explains that if they arrest Lenkov, he will say who hired him, and they don't want that if the Brits hired him. Kate wants them to investigate the PM, but Edra reminds her that the last time they surveilled a prime minister, it almost ended NATO. Neil informs Kate that Hal is out of surgery. She rushes to see him and finds him sleeping. She sees his wound and asks if he is awake. She then bursts out crying and holds him. The next day, Edra learns that Stewart is still in surgery as his blood pressure has been unstable. Ronnie is still in the OR. Tom informs Austen that Lenkov will get arrested. He will likely resist and get accidentally killed in the tussle. Mrs. Trowbridge asks Austen to find Margaret Roylin. Kate updates Hal. He can't believe that Trowbridge would bomb his own ships. He also tells her that he never talked to Grove. Kate recalls that she told Roylin that Hal was going to meet with Grove. Hal assures her that it isn't her fault what happened to him. Just then, Kate, Hal, and Edra learn that Trowbridge called the Cobra and wants them to attend. Trowbridge starts the meeting by accusing Russia. Austen says that 2 attacks would be comparable to initiating a war and Russia wouldn't be that reckless. Philippa tells the room that the bomb fragments don't bear the hallmarks of a Russian device, that the fragments are British. Kate, Edra, and Austen talk about Margaret Roylin, who is missing. The PM was unable to make contact with her and he sent a car to her home. Her phone is there, but she isn't, and she's not with her cousin in Southampton. Edra shares her suspicion with Kate. She believes that the Prime Minister got Roylin and Grove to help him stage an attack on his own carrier, and Grove hooked him up with Lenkov. Kate wonders if Roylin is dead, and Edra thinks Trowbridge might be cleaning house. Edra wants to create some distance between Kate and the investigation because people who investigate the Prime Minister are gonna get fired. Later, Kate learns from Hal that Edra and Stewart are together. She wonders how the geometry works between them since Stewart is so tall. Edra walks back in to reveal that Stewart is fine, but that Ronnie is dead. Kate and Hal are shocked to hear that. Stewart wakes up with Edra by his side. He thinks he was in a car accident. Edra tells him about Ronnie, but he insists that Ronnie wasn't on the street, that he was outside talking to Grove. The first episode ends with Margaret Roylin calling Kate at the hospital.